Hi, I'm Nick Houston from Gotham Sound and Communications. Welcome to this week's live stream on Gotham TV. Today I'm here with Scott Boland of Reading Audio. Scott has brought some fancy new toys by. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So what do you got? Audio Limiteds. This is the new stuff.
Audio Limited, 1010 digital wireless. It's a fully digital wireless system, compact, meant for, of course, bag use and for rack use. And about 10 years in the making. They've been working on this for a while, and it's truly a gem. It's anything you'd expect from them. High quality make, beautiful sound, which the sound of audio is never ever really contested. It's great sounding stuff. And a nice feature set. And not only is it digital, it performs like an analog system would be with range and things like that. So we're really excited about it, and so are a lot of people. So we're excited to show it to you guys today.
Awesome.
So,
with digital, I always think about battery consumption and things like that. What's the battery life on this?
the battery life is pretty good. I mean, it does suck a lot of juice compared to an analog transmitter, but you can put alkalines in there, but you're going to get 4 hours tops. So really, nickel metal hydride will get you about 5, 4.5, 5 easy. And then the lithiums, which I would recommend, will give you. We're hearing reports 5.5, 6 hours easily, and probably even more. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the transmitter, it's a nice sleek design. It takes two of the AA size. The compartment, you can hold on to that, I'll pop it open.
Oh, look at that.
Compartment pops open, it's all aluminum. It's still lightweight.
It's really light. It actually feels really nice in the hands.
Very light. And then it just has 3 push buttons, rubberized push buttons in the front. Your LEMO connector, the 3-pin, which is your typical on the competitor's system, so everybody's pretty familiar with that and happy with it. It works great. And your SMA type antenna. And then the first thing people go, what is the power?
Right.
The power. It's switchable as well. It's 5 mil, 20 or 50. Most people are going to run it at 50 for typical use. And to give you a comparison, in the digital realm, 50 milliwatts on this is going to be comparable to like 100 watts on other analogs.
Oh, great.
Hybrid systems.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a good amount of range on that.
Yeah, range, our range tests and range tests from the field, it's meeting or exceeding what people expect out of a 100 milliwatt analog type system. So we're very happy about that.
Cool.
So that range is not an issue. And of course it is, sending ones and zeros across the air. So.
One thing I love about this design is that it's all basically smooth lines. So actors, it's not going to be digging into them at any point.
Exactly, yeah, and just the little tube pull tray works nicely. And then what comes with it is this little guy right here, which is just the neoprene pouch, and that has the little Velcro pop on there to get it onto a belt clip or a body.
Cool.
So
awesome.
That comes with it.
So this is the transmitter.
As a transmitter, and the receiver looks like a slot receiver because it is, but it is modular. So not only is it for a super slot like an SL6, it can also go into a Panasonic camera, so it has a 25-pin body, but it also, the modular design, you just 4 screws, you pop off the bottom right here, and then you can make it a bag standalone, as audio tends to call it. The cables come out, this is a proprietary thing, they're fixed cables on this bottom. It's a very durable, flexible cable, so there's really no worry of this thing, because the first person people say, oh, what if a cable goes bad? But then, because it's so slim, the only way to put removable cables would have been put LEMO connectors on there, then everybody was screamed at us for putting LEMO connectors on there. So they went with the hard wire, which is fine, and you can get it with either a XLR or a TA3, and then the power, which is a separate cable coming out, that can be either Hiroshi or the Switchcraft connector for a BDS, and we also make a quick adapter to go Hiroshi to BDS if you need to.
So this is actually, this is not a screw-in. This is
not a screw-in.
That's
hardwired into there. Yeah.
Got it.
And then on the bottom of the receiver, you see there's 4 screws right here. So those just pop off, and then you can get the 25-pin adapter, pop it right on. And we also have this thing called the top plate, which is required if you're going to put it in an SL6 or a camera, just shorten the length. to make it fit. So, because basically they wanted to make this tall enough so it sat in a bag very comfortably. So it will do that without incident.
Cool. So how does this? I haven't used an audio limited in forever, but how does it work? Show us some of the menu settings, the buttons, and like if I wanted to tune it, how would I do it?
Tuning's quite easy. The way that they approached it was I don't know if you can get me on there. They put in TV channels, so broadcast channels. So there's regions. So if you're in the US, you select the region to be US. If you're in the EU, you select the region to be EU. And also one for Australia. The reason being that our TV broadcast channels are 6 meg wide, in the EU they're 8. So it automatically shrinks it to our 6 meg wide. So you pick, right now we're broadcast channel 27, and then you can go to the sub channels, which these are 400K spacing. So it's programmed there, and the sub channels are 400K, which that's the usable spread for these. So you can get 15 systems working in 400K spread.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which that's one of the good selling points of the system is a lot of channels in a small amount of spectrum.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and if you're using with analog systems, basically you just treat this like if you put it into the analog frequency coordination. So you would do it backwards. So this would have to fit into the analog modulation scheme rather than the analog trying to fit into the digital.
Right.
Which will mean less channels, but we're hoping that you'll have all digital anyways. So.
Right. It definitely makes it easier.
Yep, and then you can go to tune, which you can go into 25K steps. Sorry about that right there, if you happen to need to tune.
Right.
The menu is so easy that you really don't even need a
manual.
A manual. Everybody still likes a manual because people like to yell at you when you don't read it. We hear that. So your audio gain is in steps up to 9, and it's a really hot transmitter. Like right now, I have a Voice Technologies VT500. And you're going to run it at about 3 or 4.
Oh yeah.
Typical use. Yeah.
Interesting.
So really hot. And then we flip over to, we got a test tone, which we got -36 and 18 dB test
so
tone.
you can do this on the transmitter that'll send the test. Wow, that's cool. That's helpful. So you know, even if you don't have a mic plugged in, you know if it's going.
You can set tone even without the talent road going. You can lock the menu and put it to sleep and all that. And then we have more options where we can do a low cut. There's a 5-position low cut, flat being one of them. And that's very nice to have. RF power, as I mentioned before, right now I have it on low power. It can be mid or high, which is 5, 20, or 50 milliwatts.
Yep. So the advanced menus, seems like it's really easy to get into.
Very easy. I mean, it's anybody who's worked with transmitters before pretty much can just bop through this and not have any issues or need to call anybody. The only thing that people will talk about after is the receiver understanding how the LEDs work, but that's pretty quick. There is encryption, which I would tell you it's a proprietary encryption. So it works quite easy. You just go to the transmitter and you set the key. Right now I have it off, so new key. So you just push a button and it gives you thousands of variations of the key. So you pick one, and then you just go to the receiver and plug it in, and boom, you got full encryption and digital RAM.
So it's not only encrypted because it's digital, it's encrypted, so you have to know the key of this.
The key would have to be set, and again, there's thousands of potentials. So a sports broadcast, obviously, would be very interested in that, or security-related stuff. So they would have to have the exact receiver on the exact frequency with the exact key plugged in to get it. So that's
tough.
Small potential to have that happen.
And so let's say this is on talent. Do I have to go digging through clothes to change frequencies, or what do I?
No, they put a nice little feature where you can control basic features of the transmitter with Bluetooth. So everybody has a trusty smartphone with them. So I can, and let me see, Joe, if I can show that. So this is the TX app on an iPhone. It's not on the Apple Store yet. I'm told it will be shortly. It will be free, and it's very simple and works nice. So right now, the numbers that you see in the block under Audio Limited, that is the serial number. I haven't named it, but you can name all your transmitters. And the transmitters names will also show up on the receiver, which is nice. So basic thing, it shows you what your battery life is up there on the right, top right. And you can turn the standby So sleep or on. So if you're on break and the transmitter is going to remain on the talent, you'll have to undress them.
And I like the little day or night symbol that that it's got there. That's cute.
Yep. So I can put it in standby or that, and then gain and low cut. So basic stuff.
Cool.
So you can't do the encryption or anything like that, but I'm sure that will come in future iterations of it.
Right.
But they just wanted to have something where you can just walk up to the talent and not have to mess with them once they're dressed.
Got it. Cool.
So, and it does work well. So range, it's Bluetooth 4.0 LE. Range is going to be about 10, 15 feet max. It's not going to be across range. Yeah, just so you can go up to somebody and do it. It works quite nice.
And not have to talk to them. You can still.
You definitely don't have to talk to them or wire them up. Joe, we can get a close-up on the receiver. The receiver will also show you transmitter data. So if I hit the left button, it'll show you the name of the transmitter if you had it. And then if I hit the right button, it shows you some basic information. So it's going to show you what the low cut is. It's going to show you the gain, just like the app, but it's also going to show you the temperature of the transmitter, because as you know, digital gets hot. So keep an eye on that.
And this actually seems pretty cool right now, and it's been on for a few minutes.
Yeah. It's just some people get kind of thrown off when they feel it after, it's in the high power, and then it gets pretty warm after a while. So, so it tells you that. And then also the other thing was the supply voltage. It tells you what your supply voltage on your MP1 is on there. And then if you hold both outside buttons together, let me get back to that, you can flip it upside down 180 degrees. So if you had it in a rack a particular way, or for some camera, when it's in a camera slot, when you pull down to the camera, maybe you want to look at from that perspective. It depends on how. So very versatile in that ways.
That's cool. I haven't seen that on any other receivers. So that's
I'm not sure if anything else does, but that's a feature that they are touting as being just convenient.
Yeah. And does it have a built-in RF scanner or?
Yes. So the receiver is a diversity. The actual term that they're using is maximal ratio diversity, and that's the look that I still give them when we talk about it. Basically, I just tell people to look it up in Wikipedia online.
Okay.
It's hard to explain, but it's not your typical true diversity.
Right.
It works great. I mean, even if you take one of these antennas off, you still get pretty damn good range. So that's the official thing, and pretty much them even trying to explain it to me is very difficult, and that's the
maximal
look.
Full range diversity. I mean, it sounds impressive. So
it sounds impressive. So a lot of the same features. It's the way the menu works. You have up to 0 dB output, and then minus 12 and down to mic level. It's hard. Sorry, I can try to get out of here without looking at it. And then your scanning. So you can scan little small clips, or you can scan the full range of that. And one thing we didn't mention yet was there's 2 blocks that this system is being built on. Worldwide, there's 3, but we're not going to bother with the 600 to 700 block because nobody's going to buy it. Because there's not much time left for that. So when you hear that the system is 100 meg wide, it's because that top of the 5 to the top of 6 is 100 meg. The 2 blocks that we have available in the US are 178 meg wide, so down 470 to 548, and then probably the most popular one is 518 to 608. 608. There you go. It's on there. Perfect. So that's going to give you 90 meg, which is nice for that. So scanning, if I wanted to scan the full range, it's a very familiar scan. It gives you the spectrum scan with the little blocks. So
you can easily see what's
as you can see
on.
In New York, it's not fun to use wireless.
It doesn't help that we're wearing transmitters and this is a transmitter that's on and all that.
Exactly. So future iterations will have more of a fine-tuned look at the spectrum. Right now, that's all we have. But it's still pretty effective when you're in a normal working environment.
And can you update the firmware in these as well? Like if new stuff comes out, or how does that work?
Yeah, firmware will be done through the transmitter. There's a card slot in the transmitter, so firmware, you can burn it to a micro SD, load it up, and then it'll be able to do it that way.
Cool.
So for future stuff. So that's the spectrum. So you would pick your frequency and and then go. And I'm sorry, I can't see there. Okay, we're out. And then options, output mode could be analog or digital through either the 25 pin or the XLR, which is nice. And then you can flop the phase if you need to for, I think, COS 11s or something. Not on the mic, but on the hardware.
Right.
And then your encryption, where you'd put the key in, and your region, LEDs. So the LEDs are usually things of mystery with these. On the transmitter, they always have this blue LED right there that just shows you that it's on.
Right.
That can be turned off in the menu. And then the LED over here is when it's another indication to tell you your battery is going down. On the receiver, you have the blue LED that tells you it's on, and then the one opposite on the bottom is also going to be telling you that the battery is going dead there. So you have all these ways of seeing what your battery life is on the transmitter, through the app, through the transmitter itself, and on the receiver in the side menu as well. And the way that the other LEDs work, it's sort of backwards compared to how you're normally seeing LEDs with working. They start to kick in when you're at the end of your range. They start flickering. So they're not just solid in like the ones in the middle there. It's part of the way this diversity works. So when people see that, they go, I'm not really sure what's going on. So obviously that's something that they're going to document better in the manual, so people can understand what's going on.
So the further you get away, the further. So it starts flickering when you're too far, basically.
Yeah, when you're getting at the outskirts of your range.
Well, that makes sense.
It starts flickering on there. So, which is kind of different to the way that the typical on the screen where it shows you your diversity stuff, it works backwards to that. So,
cool. Well, I mean, I love the build quality. They obviously feel really, really sturdy, but at the same time, they're not very heavy.
It's not heavy at all. The receiver doesn't weigh much more than the transmitter does, and also there's no batteries in it, which helps.
Right.
It's externally powered, and as you can see, we have 2 straight antennas. They recommend, of course, anytime you're doing diversity to have one right angle.
Right.
But on this particular system, the spread between the antennas is wide enough that you can get away. So we're delivering it with two straight antennas. If somebody wants to right angle to get that nth degree of extra range, fine.
Right.
But a lot of people are going to use distro systems with this anyway. So.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, it's nice to have the options, and we keep the right angle antennas in stock, so you can always pick up an extra one.
Sure. And again, the real important thing to know about this, again, is it's optimized for a lot of channels in a small amount of space, which as, it's still wideband. I mean, 90 megahertz can be considered wideband.
Right.
But the channel density is really going to be the important thing as we get into the future, which audio is really paying attention to. So when we have about this much spectrum, getting a lot of radios in there is going to be important. You can really only do that with digital.
Right, yeah, because with analog, it's really, you need 700 kilohertz channel spacing.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, at least. So this will be allow you for
and it's
about
sort of
double.
exponential as you get the spread changes out. So this, it's plug and play. It's really easy to kind of do that, and having 15 channels and 6 megs is pretty impressive. So they really feel that they're kind of on the bleeding edge of kind of when people lose all the spectrum and they go, okay, what am I going to do? So so we're happy about that. That's
and these are shipping now.
They are shipping now.
Yeah.
We do have them in stock. We're stocking the higher band just because that's pretty much for pre-orders. That's what everybody ordered.
Right.
But coming off of the production line over there, people assume because they're a smaller company in the UK, it's going to take a long time. A couple weeks tops.
Yeah.
For it, so not a problem.
Cool. And what are the price points on these guys? I don't know.
The transmitter is $19.95, and the receiver, either way, if you get the standalone or the 25 pin, is $28.49, I believe. So you're under $5,000 per channel, and you can buy the adapters individually. Right. To do that. That's pretty easy, and then the second question that people ask after they ask what the range is, they usually say, is there going to be a 2-channel? So, yes, there will. I mean, basically, Audio Limited's perspective was they've worked really hard to have this, proprietary digital modulation scheme. So this isn't an off-the-shelf, digital modulation scheme. They developed it from the ground up. It's got 2 millisecond delay, and so they wanted to kind of put their best foot forward out of the gate. So here it is in its best form, amazing range, amazing quality. And then all the peripherals will come next. The 2-channel, the tiny transmitter, a plug. That's all stuff that will come. But this is jumping into the digital world after 30 plus years of analog.
Right.
So
yeah, and people who have had audios forever know it, love it, and the sound of it is really, to me, what usually sells it.
Yeah, it's definitely the audio quality that you would expect. It's one of those things where people never ask us how well it sounds. They just expect Audio Limited to sound good. So that's not an issue. The feature set and the performance is really what people care about, and they're definitely delivering with this. So, and again, they haven't abandoned analog. I mean, the 2040 system is still available. It's practically off the shelf for that. And there's also the EN2 system. So if you want the 2-channel transmitters and this tiny, the 2-channel receiver, and the tiny transmitters, we have that with the EN2 system, but those are obviously all analog.
Cool.
So.
And so anything else about this before I ask you another question?
I think you can go ahead.
Okay, so NAB's coming up next week. You're going to be there.
I will be there.
What are you most excited about?
Being in Vegas? I'm kidding. We handle many brands, as you know, Reading Audio, so we're excited to finally show this, because last year it was sort of a prototype. Right. So really excited to show this and show people that it's real. It's not vaporware, it's real. So we're happy to talk about that. Of course, Rycode has a whole host of stuff, the new Cyclones, the small and medium, which are phenomenal. And then we have a new surprise launch that's happening tomorrow, which you know about yet. But,
yes, I know.
So that's happening. Very excited about that. So pretty much the whole Rycode area is all new. And we'll have Ambient. We'll have Timo and Klaus and Jim Kumar from Ambient. They're on our stand now. They used to have their own booth, so now we have them at our stand, which is going to be awesome. And they're just really going to expand on the Lockit network stuff that's going on.
Which the new firmware is great, by the way.
Yes,
so
the menu is fantastic. Yeah. So we're going to be showing that. And VT, Voice Technologies, we have a bunch of new stuff that's exciting for there. Sheps, we have a 3D audio rig that we're going to show, which is still in the early stages. But for VR, sports, gaming, 3D audio is going to be something that people are going to be into. So yeah, I'm going to be busy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, we'll be by the booth to see all the new stuff. And thanks for coming to New York on a rainy day.
Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
Good to be here.
All right. Scott Boland, Reading Audio. Next week, we'll be with Scott again at NAB, but there will be no live stream. So you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Vimeo, YouTube, and I don't know, you can think about us as well. But if you
Google Plus?
Not Google Plus. Are we on Google Plus?
Yeah. Is anybody?
We're on Google Plus.
We are on Google Plus. Well, do I have to post to it?
Yeah, you would.
I will have to post to it. Great. I'm going to be a busy guy.
All right.
So you can follow us, and if you follow us, you'll get notifications. We're literally going to be there right when the doors open at like 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with phones and camera crews and all that stuff, bringing the latest. So anyway, check that out next week. If you have any ideas for what you want to see on live streams, email us at info@gothamsound.com. Thanks very much.